Welcome to Indonesia. A beautiful archipelago, but also one of the most seismically active regions on Earth. Here, nature never sleeps. And one of its greatest threats hides deep beneath the ocean floor: the Megathrust Earthquake. Did you know? Indonesia is located in a highly earthquake-prone area, the Ring of Fire, or Pacific Ring of Fire. This area is the meeting point of active tectonic plates that surround the Pacific Ocean. Not only that, Indonesia is also flanked by three major plates: Indo-Australian Plate from the south, Eurasian Plate from the north, and Pacific Plate from the east. The movement and collision of these three plates makes Indonesia very prone to earthquakes, including megathrust earthquakes, powerful earthquakes that originate from subduction zones under the sea. One of the active subduction zones in Indonesia occurs between the Indo-Australian Plate and the Eurasian Plate. The Indo-Australian Plate continues to move northward 5 to 7 centimeters per year and infiltrates under the Eurasian Plate. This process is called subduction. However, this movement is not always smooth. The two plates can be locked for tens to hundreds of years. When the pressure between the plates builds up and is finally released suddenly, a megathrust earthquake occurs. These earthquakes are very powerful and can trigger large tsunamis if they occur under the sea. A megathrust earthquake can produce three main impacts, namely: firstly, building collapse. The strong shaking from an earthquake can cause buildings, bridges, and other infrastructure to collapse, especially if they are not built to earthquake-resistant standards. Casualties often result from being crushed or trapped inside collapsed buildings. Second, tsunami. If the epicenter is on the seafloor, shifting plates can suddenly lift the sea surface. This creates tsunami waves that can reach tens of meters high and sweep away coastal areas in minutes. Tsunamis often arrive after an earthquake, so people should move away from the coast immediately without waiting for a warning. Third, landslides. In hilly or mountainous areas, earthquake shaking can trigger landslides. Earth, rocks, and debris can bury houses, roads, and even rivers. These landslides can also hinder evacuation and increase the risk of secondary disasters. Imagine, within seconds, the ground starts to shake, buildings rattle, and people frantically run around. That's when the difference between life and death is not just luck, but knowledge. Here are the three main steps for mitigation and evacuation when a megathrust earthquake occurs. First, move away from nearby buildings and infrastructure. If you are outdoors during an earthquake, move away from buildings, power poles, bridges, and billboards. These structures could collapse at any time during the shaking. Look for open areas such as fields, parks, or wide roads that are free from potential debris. Second, take cover under a table if still inside a building. But if you are indoors when the earthquake shakes, don't run outside in panic. Instead, immediately take cover under a sturdy table, protect your head and neck with your hands or a soft object, and stay still until the shaking stops.
Third, if you are on the coast, immediately move away from the shoreline. And if you are in a coastal area, be aware of tsunamis. After a large earthquake, don't wait for a warning, move away from the shoreline to higher ground immediately. Remember, it's not just the force of the earthquake that is deadly, but also the lack of preparedness. With these three steps, you'll be one step closer to being prepared for a megathrust earthquake. Because safety starts with you.